Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Grace. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If this is the first time you're seeing my beautiful face, please don't make it your last. Consider subscribing to my channel. I post content creation tips, social media management tips, lifestyle, skincare reviews, and a lot more that you're going to find really interesting. So please consider subscribing to the channel. So today's video is for my social media managers. We're talking about 5 clients that I have met and you most likely meet and how to handle them. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. I think I've said that before. Anyway, let's get right into the video. So the first one is the followers count client. This kind of client are very concerned about their follower count. They want to have like 2 million followers in 2 days, or maybe I'm just exaggerating, but those are the kind of client that you might meet. So in the beginning, these clients may be able to tell you that okay, this is their goals to grow their followers. But sometimes it's when you're working with them that you get to discover that oh this client is really follower count specific. So it's not bad to have a client that is so interested in their follower count, but you should know that it's not something that is very easy to do. Growing followers is hard work and it takes time. The best way to have this kind of client is to set a realistic expectation. Let them understand that okay, if they are trying to grow probably 1,000 followers in a week, it might be impossible if they don't run ads. So encourage them to run ads on their page and make sure you're running the ad correctly so that the people that will be following the page will be the target audience of the brand, not just anyhow audience. So you don't end up having like 10,000 followers and none of them are even the target audience. So what's the point, right? You explain to them that when you keep posting regular content and you're consistent, the viewers or the profile visits will most likely convert to followers. So if you're the kind of person that is not really strong in knowing how to grow followers, especially for Instagram or something like Twitter, it's best you let your client know on time so that they don't have unrealistic expectation from you. So if you're not the kind of person that knows how to grow the followers, just let them know. If you are, go ahead and do it, but always set realistic expectation. Don't tell your client that they can get 1 million followers in 2 days. Okay, I'm just joking, but just set realistic expectation. That's the point I'm trying to make. The second client you may likely meet is a spontaneous client. So these clients are so spontaneous. I've worked with like 2 or 3 of this kind of clients, and there's kind of people that they just wake up one morning and they decide to run sales and they want to do it that morning. They wake up one morning and they want to do this, they want to do that, and then it can be really difficult for you as a social media manager because you've already planned your content, you have your content calendar for the month and everything, and then this client is coming to tell you that oh, I don't want this, I don't want that. So the best way to handle a spontaneous client is to explain in your contract the terms and conditions. So if you already have a content calendar, you explain to your client that this content calendar is probably for like 2 weeks or a month, and everything has to be done before we do a review. So for example, if you have set your content calendar for a month and your client is wanting you to post a different content that is not in the content calendar, what that does is that it can drive you insane. Yeah, it's possible. It can drive you insane when you're working with somebody and the person is not orderly, especially if you're a kind of person that is very orderly. Like me, I like planning ahead, I like staying put, I like creating my content ahead, sending it to my client to review before I schedule them and all of those things. So imagine you scheduling the content and the client is coming in 1 week into the month and they're like they want to change the content or they want something else. So state it in your contract. Once the content has been approved, that is it. Nothing is moving. Every review has to wait till we've exhausted the content for that content calendar. Okay. The third kind of client that you may likely meet is the complainers, and this kind of client would not see anything good in what you do. Yes, you most likely meet them. I've met a client like that and it was not funny. It messed with my mental health, it messed with my mood, it messed with like a lot of things. So imagine you working for a client that does not appreciate anything that you do. They always complain about your content, complain about your design, and how you will spot that okay, you're not actually doing the wrong thing is, for example, you do a content or you do a design and then you share it with your client and the client is complaining, and then you share it with another person share it with 2 more people, share it with 3 more people, and you're like, wow, this is brilliant. And the client doesn't see it. Like, they don't just see the good in anything you do. I'm so sorry if you meet that kind of client, or if you're currently working with that kind of client. It can be devastating, it can be demoralizing, it's just crazy. That is what it is. The best way to handle this client is to explain to them, okay, you don't like my content, you don't like my design, what am I doing wrong, how do you want me to do it better, how can we move forward, and all of those things. Let me share a quick story. I was working with a client that had a different eye for design than I did, like a totally different eye for design. And yes, the design that the client had was not what's trendy, but that is what the client wanted. And I tried to speak to this client about changing the pattern, because I didn't feel like I should be associated with that kind of old or stale kind of design. The client kept complaining about the designs that I created, so I had to sit down with the client and ask the client, what do you want, how do you want it, why do you like it this way? Okay, and I was able to understand that, okay, this is what the client wants. So sometimes it's not about you, it's about your client. You just have to, they say the customer is always right. That's the same thing with client's always right. So you have to be patient with them and understand them, understand the client's voice, understand the client's eye for design. It may not be like your own, and it may not be the best, trust me, but if you can go ahead with their own pattern, that it work fine. Then if they are the kind of client that always complain like on a normal, that nothing is ever good for them and they don't even know what they want, then probably it might be time for you to, walk away, maybe terminate the contract or something, because they are most likely not going to change. So it's better to just step back and just let them do their thing by themselves. The fourth kind of client you may likely meet is a non-responsive client. These clients, they don't respond ASAP. They're always taking their time to respond. You send them a message by 9 a.m. they're replying by 6 p.m. That kind of client. You send them content to review, they're reviewing after 3-4 days, and all of those things. So those kind of clients will make your work very stressful, and they just make everything really slow, especially if you're the kind of person that's energetic and want to get the job done ASAP. This client is going to always drag you back. So the best way for you to handle this kind of client is to explain to them in your contract, your terms and conditions. Okay, if you're working together, this is the duration for review of content. You can say 2 days, you can say 3 days. Then if I send you a message, please, I want you to reply ASAP, because you have to make them know that you working with them, they have to put the communication as top priority, because it's very important. Imagine you working with a non-responsive client and somebody is sending a DM and they want to make a purchase, and you don't really know, maybe you're new to the brand and you don't really know the price of a particular item or something, or you don't really know what the customer is requesting for, and you reach out to your client and ask your client, okay, how should I respond to this? And you send the message by 9 a.m. and the client is responding by maybe 12 p.m. and then by the time you go back to the customer to respond, the customer has left and is not interested anymore. So that way the client is going to lose customers, going to lose sales, and it's not just good for the brand visibility, because it's to make it look like the brand is not responsive and people would not want to come back there to make a purchase. So it's always best to always have that talk. Oh, please, the response is slow. Is there a way we can do this better? Is there, like, I once worked with a client that was not really responsive, but when we talked about everything, the client asked me to always call when I need to ask something very important, so I don't have to wait for the message to be responded to. I can just call. So if it's urgent, I can just call. So you can maybe talk to your clients about that. Oh, do I call you? Do I send you a SMS instead of texting you on WhatsApp? Just to make sure that you don't miss out on the communication, and the communication is really, really important. Really, really important. So the last one on my list, this is not really the last one, but this is the last one on my list, is the no-goal client. This client do not have a goal, or probably they have every goal.
They want followers, they want customers, they want visibility, they want everything.
Everything. This can be very dicey, because working with this kind of client will put you on your toes and you don't really know what they want. So you're managing their page, you don't know if you should focus on followers, you don't know if you should focus on visibility, you don't even know what to focus on, so you're a little bit confused. So today they want followers, today they want this, today they want that, and all those things. So the best way for you to handle this kind of clients is to actually sit down and talk with them, to be able to understand their top goals. So it's understandable that they may want everything, but what is the top, like you may say, okay, what are the top 2 things you want? You've listed a lot of goals that you want to achieve. What are the top 2? Okay, these are the top 2. So let's work with the first one for the first month or the first 2 months, then let's work on the second one, and like that. Because if you just keep quiet and don't have a conversation with them, they tend to rate you based on that goal. So they feel like if you're not achieving the goals that they've already set in their own head, though it's not your own head, they set in their head, if you're not achieving their goals, they just automatically assume that you're not doing anything. So it's better to always have this talk with your clients so that you can be on the same page. I know I said 5, but this is a bonus tip. This last kind of clients, you most likely have met this client, or you're yet to meet the client. Those kind of clients are the ones that always feel like they can do everything. You hear them make statements like,
I can actually do this design, or I don't just have time. I can actually manage the page, or I don't just have time.
They're always saying stuff like that. They always feel like they can do everything, and sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. They cannot even do what they say they can do. That's why they actually hired you. So the best thing for you to do is to be patient with this kind of client. They can just get over themselves and they feel like they can do everything. Just be patient with them and work at their own pace. This kind of client too, they may not even likely take advice from you, because I once worked with a client that was the know-it-all, and I suggest some ways to post reels and the times and all, and then the client was not having it. The client's like, I've studied about reels, and I'm like, okay, no problem, just let them have their way. When they have their way and it's not working, they always come back to you. So when the client did it and the client noticed that it wasn't working well, client came back to me and I was able to fix it. So sometimes just be patient with them, let them make their mistakes and then come back to you. While if they don't realize that they need to come back to you, just be working on their own pace. But if it's really becoming unbearable, then you can have a conversation with them and talk to them that, oh, I can actually do this and this is why you hired me. Let me help you achieve your goals. That is it for this video. Have you met any of this type of clients before, or is there any clients that you've met that I didn't mention in this video? Please list them in the comment section and I'll be interacting with you from there. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find it very helpful, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Mwah.